Well, hi everyone, and welcome to the RK Forum. Today we're going to be talking about the challenges of masturbation. The challenges of masturbation. And I'm doing this because we did this on our sister program that we do in Swahili. And quite a number of people felt like, why are you giving this information in Swahili only? We also want to, learn from some of what you're saying. And so a number of them were very concerned that this is a big challenge that is affecting a lot of young people, but it stretches right into the adult community. And so they asked me to summarize what I had said in Swahili right here. And so the challenge of masturbation. Now, this is grouped under what the Bible would describe as a sexual perversion. It's a challenge. It's an abnormality. It's out of the norm. In other words, God has created our bodies to operate or function in a particular way, and masturbation is one of those that deviates from that. And so, first, let's just talk about how people get involved in masturbation, what causes people to practice masturbation, and then I'll finish by just highlighting a couple challenges, a couple things that you should know in case you are involved, because I think they're not good for you. So one of the reasons people find themselves involved in masturbation is nothing but idleness. You're just idle. You have nothing to do, you're not going to school, you're not going to work, or you don't like going to school or going to work, and so you find yourself just lazying away. Sometimes you go to bed at 10 in the night, and by 10 the next day, 10 in the morning, you're still in bed. So just wondering, what am I going to do with myself, and so on. And so in that idle span, you begin to sort of touch yourself, fumble, fidget with your body, and you find that you're caught up in masturbation. So idleness is a very, very common thing. Another thing is, pornography. Pornography, as you look at the images online, on the internet, or in magazines or on television, you'll find that pornography does stimulate the body to a point of the body wanting to fulfill itself sexually. And that kind of fulfillment leads a lot of people to play around with their bodies, hence the masturbation challenge for so many. And it's amazing. Every time I've counseled with young people, the question comes up, so what do I do with this thing? Meaning that it's already troubling them. Now, the third thing that tends to cause involvement in masturbation is really just the whole question of seclusion, especially those who go into boarding school, or they're left in some kind of exclusive environment. Let's say it's a boys' school or a girls' school, or sometimes it's really just finding yourself alone at home. Your wife's gone on a journey, or your husband's gone on a journey, or you are there alone, and besides the idleness and boredom, you're just thinking, okay, if my wife was here, if my husband was here, and you have this sexual urge, so you end up trying to satisfy that urge by yourself, and that is just one of those triggers. And so I'm sure there are many other causes, but what are just some of the effects, the negative effects of masturbation on the person? The greatest one that a lot of specialists and counselors talk about is that it reduces your ability to function sexually in a marriage. And so, for example, if you are a regular masturbator, it sort of kills the sensation, the sexual sensation in your organ. And sooner or later, when you need to satisfy it with your spouse, you realize that you are not able to get sufficiently stimulated because you have sort of overworked or overstimulated your sexual organ. And so a lot of people in marriage especially are struggling because having masturbated, then they have no sensation left, or they're not as excited. They've already drained themselves of the sexual feelings. And so that is destroying a lot of families. Another thing is that masturbation almost naturally leads to the possibility of rape. You see, if you cannot fulfill a sexual desire, you've stimulated yourself to a point, you realize that it's very easy for you to begin to think, where do I get an outlet for this? And that can lead it can lead to very horrible situations. You find somebody even raping a child, or raping a woman, an innocent woman that's just walking home, because you can't handle it. And another thing is, when you think about the whole area of masturbation, it is a perversion, because it's almost like you invert the definition of love. Romantic love involves, being involved with somebody of the opposite sex. Yes. And so masturbation will usually be what one would call self-love, because who are you loving? You're just imagining and doing it by yourself. And of course, I must also mention here that we risk displeasing God. He says we should present our bodies as living sacrifices, holy and acceptable to Him, which is our reasonable act of worship. And so when we pervert our bodies and pervert God's intention for sex, you'll find that, of course, it displeases God, but we are also the losers, because at the end of the day, really, we don't end up enjoying sex in the context that God set it for us. So until next time, I hope that you learned something today, and that you gained from what was on the RK Forum today. If you have not subscribed to our channel, I would encourage you to do that and to tell others to do so. You can certainly subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell sign, so that whenever we post new videos, you'll be notified. We would like to hear from you. Leave us a comment, and if this video is useful, maybe you could share it with somebody else. Until next time, God bless you. My name is Reuben Kigame. Bye-bye.